Some of that sweet soul music, a little bit of grit, a little bit of polish. You got Patti LaBelle and the Bluebelles on Billboard's Hot 100 of January 8th, 1966, coming in at number 75, down from its peak at number 68. Song probably should have done a little bit better. This is classic mid-60s soul off the Atlantic record label All or Nothing by Patti LaBelle and the Bluebelles. They formed from two rival bands. There was the Ordettes and the Del Caprice. Members Sarah Dash, Nona Hendrix, who had some hits later on in the 70s and 80s on the R&B charts. Cindy Birdsong, who later became a member of the Supremes. She replaced, I believe it was Florence Ballard was her name. Florence Ballard, who had an alcohol problem, had some problems with the Supremes, and she left. She was fired basically. And Cindy Birdsong was called in to replace her. Gorgeous woman, Cindy Birdsong, man, killer. And Patti LaBelle, of course, a member of Patti LaBelle and the Bluebelles, Over the Rainbow, and some of their hits from the early 60s, Over the Rainbow, I Sold My Heart to the Junk Man in the early 60s. And they toured the UK. And when they were doing these club performances, when they played in the clubs, they were backed up by a band called Bluebelles-All. Guess who was in that band? A very young piano player named Reginald Dwight. Later became known as Elton John. Played back up to Patti LaBelle and the Bluebelles. But Patti LaBelle and the Bluebelles underwent an evolution. For one thing, as already mentioned, Cindy Birdsong, she joined the Supremes in 1967. And Atlantic Records, they signed Aretha Franklin in 1967. And Aretha Franklin was his sole wonderkin, and they threw all their attention on her. Put more attention on her, kind of sidelined Patti LaBelle and the Bluebelles, and they evolved eventually into LaBelle by the early 70s. Had that huge hit, Lady Marmalade, in 1975, written by Kenny Nolan, originally done by Kenny Nolan, Lady Marmalade. And so we have All or Nothing by Patti LaBelle and the Bluebelles, just swinging back and forth in the 60s and 70s on this Billboard's Hot 100. It was at number 74 to 72 to 68, dropped back down to number 75. But it's a jam. It is a jam just the same. All or Nothing, Patti LaBelle and the Bluebelles on Billboard's Hot 100, January 8th, 1966.